But first, when disaster strikes, fraudsters aren't far behind. Insurance fraud can add millions of dollars paid out by insurers, resulting in higher premiums for all of us. The National Insurance Crime Bureau's president and CEO, David Glowey, is here now with insights on how to avoid fraud after a natural disaster. Welcome to the show, David.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, let's talk about this. What's the kind of fraud that takes place following disasters while victims are trying to put their homes and lives back together?
NICB, the National Insurance Crime Bureau, we've been around for 100 years. We represent over 1,400 insurance carriers and private sector businesses. We partner with state, federal, local law enforcement in all 50 states and territories. And unfortunately, contractor fraud after a natural disaster or a catastrophic event is a reality. We estimate anywhere between 5 and 10% of all claims after an event are fraudulent related. After Katrina, which was $80 billion, $7.5 billion of that was fraud related. It's a real problem, and those costs are passed on to the insurance customers.
Wow, I mean, those are some big numbers that you mentioned. What are the steps that homeowners can maybe take prior to a natural disaster? Of course, we always hope they're not going to happen, but what are some of the things that they can do to reduce their chances of falling victim?
Preparation is key, and obviously out west, you all have been hit very hard by the wildfires. I used to be the Undersecretary, Department of Homeland Security, and in 2018, I was out with the LA Fire Chief after the event and visiting the different sites and just the tremendous impact that California got hit. And preparation is key. So let's start with the preparation before an event. Make sure you have 3 days of food and water with you that you can take with you or have in your home if you're locked in. Make sure your cell phone's charged and you have battery backup. And also, if you can get out of the way of an event, get out. We can always replace your property. We cannot replace your life. After an event, contact your insurance carrier to file the claim and see if they have a list of vetted contractors. That's a key component, as well as make sure you get 3 contractor bids and don't respond to people that knock on your door or call you on the phone.
What about best practices? What advice do you have when it comes to post-disaster? Now you're trying to hire a contractor or a vendor, you're trying to get back on your feet, but you want to make sure that you steer clear of those dishonest folks.
Yeah, as I mentioned, 5 to 10% of all the claims are going to be fraudulent related. So that means we have criminal actors. They're going to be predators for these victims of the catastrophic event. You're going to be victimized twice. So good practices, good vetting. Make sure you contact your insurance carrier. Get 3 bids from any contractor and vet them. Vet them through the Better Business Bureau. Vet them through your state insurance regulator. California has a fantastic and robust insurance regulatory site as well. And talk to your neighbors if they've worked with these contractors before. Check the references. Do not respond to people that call you on the phone or knock on your front door that are soliciting. Make sure you go through that vetting process so you're not a victim of a crime.
And David, I'm sure when people go through these things and there's so much paperwork and so many steps to kind of picking up their lives and getting things back where they want them and the timeline, what would be the, I guess, a reasonable timeline to expect? Because a lot of times maybe you're like, well, he said he could come out and start fixing it right away, and then they just go with that contractor.
That's exactly it. You're looking for that helping hand. You're looking for that person that's going to give you that outreach to get you back on your feet. But there's got to be a realistic timeline on that through normal contractors. Again, the vetting process of the contractors, make sure they're established business, established in your neighborhood, and a realistic timeline. Somebody that says that they're going to be able to restore you immediately. They're going to ask for money up front. They're going to ask for payment. They're going to say they have a relationship with the Department of Homeland Security and FEMA. Those are immediate fraud indicators. You're going to have to go through the due diligence, the process, and it's going to take time to rebuild yourselves.
All right, David, these are good tips to keep top of mind in case of those disasters and emergencies. If you want to learn more tips and read more about this and avoiding fraud, you can visit nicb.org.